Hey Brandon, I'm gonna take a look at your files. Your PDF looks like it's cropped weird. Um, so we're gonna take a look at this in InDesign. Um, so if we push W on our keyboard, okay, I don't know why your PDF looks so weird. Let's see, file, document setup. I'm just gonna see if you got this on 11 by 17. Yeah, you do. Okay. Um, this logo looks a little squished. If we use the free transform tool, this is a great tool to use for resizing things. We just want to get that back to looking like a circle. If we go in our links panel, we can see that this is a JPEG file. There are other logos with clear, transparent backgrounds that you can use in that folder of MSU Northern logos that I provided to you. So I would suggest, replacing this logo with one that doesn't have a white background because it's pretty distracting on your design. This one looks a little stretched too. We want to use this tool probably just to kind of make it look a little bit better. If we use the Red Ants Pants logo, this one is not required, but it does need to maybe have some text explaining, why it's on the poster. If you look at the project worksheet, it'll say like, don't miss out on your chance to win 2 tickets to the Red Ants Pants Music Festival. Drawing will be held during the tribute event or something. You could have small text. It could be, 11 points big, maybe in white or something like that. I got your text box here. We would definitely want to center this. We want to move it away from the edge a little bit too, so we'll probably bring it down a little bit. Would be a good idea. This is the VIX logo. This is the PNG file. I would actually zoom in on this. Since it's not really showing up here, I would do an image trace on it. Bring that PNG file into Illustrator. So file, new, you can just go to like print real quick, go to letter, make sure these should be okay because you went to print first. But if you do a file place, bring in the VIX logo. Let's see, I don't know if I have it. It might be in here. There it is. Okay, and then click and drag it in at the size I want it. Then I can do image trace, black and white logo, and then expand over here. If we grab the black arrow tool and move this into the gray, you can see there is a white background. So let's select off of that, like click off to deselect everything, grab the white arrow tool, and then we can start deleting the white out of this logo, some of the whites. Zooming in might help. One thing about this logo I've been telling a lot of people is just click and drag over this text and just delete it completely out because it doesn't really need to be in there. It could just say VIX place. And once you delete all the white out of that, I mean, there's a little bit of white in that, but I'm going to leave it for now. You can actually Command C or Control C to copy and Control V to paste it. And actually, we can change the color right in InDesign, which is handy, so that we don't have to bring in a new logo that's white. We can just change it to whatever color we want, or we can make this black or red if we wanted, like that, because red and black tend to look pretty good together. So I mean, you could, and I would say like, I would move catering by VIX place, like, maybe put it down here. Catering provided, maybe like provided by VIX place and Streetery. Because Streetery does the food and VIX is like the drinks, basically. You might want to write, do a different alignment on the text. It doesn't have to be as big of text as what you have at the top because obviously the title is the most important thing, and then probably the time, location, date would be the next important thing. So I mean, and you could actually size these up. And this is sort of the opening like little thing, so you might actually want to put that above tribute. And maybe on one line. Just to save some space, I guess, more than anything. So I can just bring this down in size so it's all in one line. Maybe something like this. I don't know. We could do like a comma, I have local music. So maybe something like that. And then this could be like, you know, we want to make this space a little smaller. That's maybe 200. So yeah, something like that is how you could format this. You know, you could maybe move it up a little bit more. Maybe find a different font. I mean, this font's okay, but like maybe something a little bit more interesting. You know, maybe so keep it bold, but maybe you could go a little decorative with it. You know, we can find more fonts here, and we can use Adobe fonts. Especially if you have your Creative Cloud launched, you might want to create, you know, get that launched. Go into your applications, go to Adobe Creative Cloud. It looks like this. It's kind of a rainbow cloud thing. Just make sure that's launched. And then this should work just fine. It'll connect to the cloud because the Adobe fonts are through the cloud. It's more of like a, but there's going to be a little bit more. You can actually filter it right here with this little filter icon and search by like, this is by decorative. So we can really look for all the decorative fonts. In this list basically, and go down the list and just keep, you know, it's not loading because my internet is like super slow, and that's why I'm getting these little dots, which is kind of a bummer. But when you want to activate a font, you just push on the little cloud and it should activate it to where you can use Adobe fonts. Adobe fonts can be a little bit hard to use, but don't be afraid to just, if you're having trouble, you know, shut down, save your document and then reopen it, like shut down InDesign and then reopen it, and make sure your Creative Cloud is launched, and that usually will fix it if you're having issues with Adobe fonts. So yeah, I would put like this down here with Fixed Place, and then I would do the same thing with Streetery's logo, bring it into Illustrator, image trace it, copy and paste it into here. You know, this might want to go up here maybe, like next to the KNMC Presents. Size it down, obviously. If you're going to talk about Red Ants Pants, definitely have a line in there about like, you know, don't miss out on chance to win 2 tickets to Red Ants Pants Music Festival. And then the northern logo could maybe go like over here or something like that. You know, this is obviously, these logos really don't need to be this big. They could probably be, you know, as big as like 1 inch wide by 1 inch tall, basically. Push shift when you're doing it so they don't get distorted. But so these could be actually a lot smaller on the canvas. This is actually really large. It's almost 5 inches wide, 4.5 inches wide. So, you know, you can size these way down. They don't need to be nearly this big. And make sure you're not stretching any of your images. And then another thing to be checking for is the links panel. You do have this in CMYK, that's good. The effective PPI 300, 300, so that looks good. Anything with a 3 in the front is good. 300 or higher, that looks good at this size, of course. This one is an AI file, so it's definitely high res. We don't have to worry about that one. This one is good, MSU Northern. This one looks pretty good too. So I did size that substantially down. At the size you were using it, it might have been too big. Sometimes if the effective PPI is really low, then if you just size the image down, it'll bring the effective PPI up. So make sure when you go onto your images that you're going into your links panel, you're changing them to CMYK, you're making sure that effective PPI is 300 above. If it isn't 300 or above, just size the image down. And if you need to do any kind of editing to these to change them to CMYK, just control click, edit with, Photoshop. This one's already in CMYK, but then you go to image, so we're in Photoshop now, and we pretend we have the actual, Photoshop has not been working for days, but image mode CMYK, save over the old file, and it should update to CMYK. I did create a video in week 14 going over that process, but I'm definitely going to be checking images and making sure everything's in CMYK and making sure that that's, you know, that the effective PPI is 300 or above. So, you know, I think this image is, it's okay, but I wonder if there's a way to add more color. You know, you could do that with the text. You could clip out an image and put it over a background. You know, you can use Photoshop separately from InDesign, save out files, and then file place them into your InDesign document. But just adding in a little bit more flair, a little bit more color, more decorative text might help your design. And so that's kind of the basics of what I can give you as far as feedback goes at this stage. I'll talk to you later.